Dan, great question here, man. I thought I'd do a quick little walkthrough and training on this for everyone else who is following along at home. Hopefully my face is in the screen here, and just answer Dan's question. So Dan's got a really good question here. I think this is super valuable for everyone to kind of hear and see this response. So the question is regarding annual recurring revenue. So it's looking at, Dan's asking the question, how do I get someone to sign for 12 months? Because everyone who signs up is doing like a 3-month content plan. How do we continue on the conversation to re-sign them, right? Wants to hear a little bit of examples from other people. So I'm just going to do a quick training of what I look at from this perspective. Because yeah, Dan's got a really good point, right? Wouldn't it be smart for them to stay on for 12 months? It would, 100%. However, there's a couple of things we need to think about when we're signing a client for a longer retainer. And what we need to think about is some things to understand what the customer actually needs, okay? So let's go through this little slide deck here, and we'll go over a couple little diagrams I think will be super valuable. So I call this a perfect video agency model, right? Keeping clients longer, increasing MRR. How this works is we're going to go through and highlight these things, right? So at the top here, we have just a content only agency. That's where you just shoot and create the content. You don't do any posting, you don't do any strategy. That's where you're just a freelance videographer, right? You know, you can earn money, but results are pretty shit and you can't scale this offer, right? So the red means bad, green means good. A strategy and content only offer, right? Say you had an offer where you do strategy, you come up with a plan, you create the content, but you just hand them the content and they just post it. Now, you get money, they may get some results, but they're probably not going to stay with you, right? Where we've found the sweet spot is this bottom one, which is where you do strategy, content, and marketing. And this is how we see a perfect video agency model is not just being a videographer who creates content, not just being a videographer who has like a little bit of a content plan in place for him. It's like, no, you're a videographer who takes over the strategy, the content, and the marketing for a client, ensuring that they get results and they stay with you longer, right? This is how we can tick all three of these boxes, okay? Now, moving on to the next diagram, this is where we look at the client and price ratio. So at the top here, we have the dollar figure to what a client can spend with us. And the bottom here, we have the amount of clients that we can work with. Now, on the left here, we have 100,000 clients at $1, right? 100,000 times 1 is 100,000, okay? Per month. That is the goal. So think of this as like $100,000 monthly recurring revenue example. It's going to take a lot of clients here that we need to sell $1. And that just sounds like a lot of stress. 100,000 clients? They wouldn't call them clients, we'd call them customers, right? So obviously that's probably the worst example, right? Let's flip to the other side. So let's say we had one client paying us $100,000 a month, right? We can equal our $1 million goal, it's 1.2 a year, by doing that. Now, those are two extremes. You're probably not going to land a client who's going to pay you $100K per month, right now. You might in the future, but most likely you're not going to. So where we've found the sweet spot is right in the middle, right? So right here. So we think about this, is between the 2 to 5K price point. So we've found the sweet spot to be in here for a retainer offer where someone's willing to pay, right? What they're willing to pay, and what also the market is also willing to, what is also a reasonable price point for them, right? Because the higher the price point, if you look at a 100K person, they're expecting you to solve a 100K problem. Someone who's at a $1 price point, they're expecting you to solve a $1 problem, and they're not really fun to work with. That's when you're selling a product, right? In the future, if you want to sell a $100 thing, go do it. But we're looking at monthly recurring, and we're looking at a video agency model here. So between the 2 to 5K is the sweet spot. So the sweet spot is actually 3K, right? If you really want to look at like an actual middle spot here. So between 2 and 5K is the perfect spot in terms of pricing. Because then if you want to have a 100K business, at 2K, you need 50 clients. Now, if you have a 5K offer, you want to do 100K per month, you need 20 clients. Now, in the middle, if you have a goal of $100,000 per month, I know this is an extreme number, that might not be your goal right now, but in the middle, let's just say you have the 3K offer. Let's just bring the goal down from 100K and make it 30K. Let's say the goal is 30K per month. You need 10 clients, right? 10 clients is what you need. And this is a very simple business model that you can work with. 10 clients, have a predictable business where it's flowing through and it's fun, right? That is a very simple way of explaining it. Now, to sign people on a longer contract, to sign up for the 3K thing on a longer term than just 3 months, this is a missing piece in most people's understanding of how do you get people to sign for longer, right? Now, we call this the future-based promise, right? So the future-based promise is all about understanding where you're taking the customer. So if you want someone to sign up for 12 months or anything for in the future, you've got to understand where they're going to be in 12 months, right? And this is where they want to be, not where you think they should be, where they want to be. And in most markets, let's say it's a coach, most coaches either want to get to 6, multi-6, or 7 figures. That's a future-based promise. Let's look at yourself, a videographer. A future-based promise would be 6, multi-6, or 7 figures. Now that's in the marketing space that I obviously work in, the coaching consulting space. Most people want that. Now, when you understand your market, you've got to understand what one they're looking for. What's the goal? Is it they want to earn 7 figures in their business? If it is, great. That's the future-based promise. If they want to go and build a brand where they're a celebrity and then the number one authority in the marketplace, cool, that's the future-based promise. So we've got to look at what is that goal. Now, what I would use here is let's say we had a Instagram example, right? So 12 months from here, these are milestones along the way. 12 months from here, we have a goal of say 100,000 followers, right? So your client is working, say, towards this, and this is the future-based promise that you're working towards. 100K followers. So this is 12 months. This is then 6 months, right? This is then 90 days, and then this is 30 days, right? You can change these numbers around, but I'm just looking at milestones. So they're at 100K followers by here. The 6-month mark, they're going to be at 50K, right? And if it's at the 90-day mark, they might be at 10K, and the 30-day mark, they might be at 5K, right? So just using an example here specifically for like Instagram. Now you can change these milestones, but these milestones are the things that you need to understand about what your customer wants so they can see where they're going, right? So the benefit of this is the customer that you're working with is actually over here, or you want to work with. And when you know where they're unhappy, when you know where they want to go in, say, the next 12 months, you draw out a path. Naturally, people want to follow the path. And if you have a clear plan in place for them, say, hey, this is where we're going in the next 12 months, and you're working towards that, they understand there's milestones that they're going to achieve along the way. Because the reason why people don't sign up with you or continue with you is because people don't want the same result. They want to grow. They want to be moving forward. So the first initial 3 months is great. We're like, yeah, 3 months of content, great. And then it's like, well, what's next? We're going to do more of that. No. Yes, the content will still be similar, the same vehicle, but the vehicle needs to have a destination of where it's going. Otherwise, they're not going to sign up, right? So really important, if you're selling a 3-month content package and that's the only thing you're selling, that's the starting point. That's like the first milestone for most people, right? Next step is to think about where we're taking that customer on a 12-month journey, okay? So let's jump on to the next one, and let's look at a retainer rhythm of where we can start to take the customer and when we can start to strategically have a 3-month content package. So this is an example. So say we've got the 12 months over here. That's our goal, right? And you do a 3-month content package here. So you start here. You might film every 2 months or 3 months, right, for the next lot of content. If you do it as a strategic kind of plan. So let's say month, that's quarter 1. So that's 1. And then we're going to have 2. And then we're going to have 3. And then we're going to have 4, right? So it's a little bit 4. Might move that back 1. I think you get the point here. So we start to look at this. Each one of these parts here is a new content package that they sign up to, right? So there might be 4 times a year that they sign up, okay? So 4 times a year, they're going to be doing a new strategy. But if we know what their goal is when they first sign up, the new strategy is just implementing these milestones. So the milestones are working towards a 12-month goal. That's a future-based promise. You see how there's 4 milestones? And then there's 4 filming days or 4 months of the 3-month of content. Saves them time because you're doing 3 months in advance. Okay, that's the benefit of this for the customer. But you're painting the future for where they're going. This is really, really important. Okay, because when someone signs up, this is usually what happens. They sign up, they're really excited, and then they kind of go down like this, right? And then you go to end of 3 months, and this is like the point where you go, hey, like, are you ready to sign up for more? And they're going to go, well, I look back at the past, and that's all they have to look at because you're not showing them any future. I don't know if it really worked. I don't know if it worked or not, right? And this is usually the case because in the first 3 months of doing anything, it takes time. It takes time to build momentum. And it's really good to sell them on a 3-month thing because it gives them a clarity that they're not locked in for 12 months, because most people don't want to be locked in for 12 months. But when you go to re-sign someone, or if you're having this conversation early on with a customer, you can start to paint the picture where instead of it hitting here at rock bottom, where it's like, I don't really want to sign again, instead you have that shoot date that's the next up. So then ups, then go like this, instead of going the down like this one did, right? Where it stops. So for us to get clients to sign up for longer, to go on a retainer for a longer period of time, we need to understand where they're going. The 12-month goal. What's the future-based promise? What are the milestones, like 1 to 4 milestones? Sometimes you can have 6 milestones they need to hit along the way. So when you get to the shoot day, we're having some wins along the way here. We want to have some wins, right? This is what keeps the rhythm where people stay. We want to raise the bar, because the moment they fall below this line, they're not re-signing, okay? Happens all the time, and it's because of the energy. So if we can fix this and elevate this and have some customer journey wins along the way, which is having milestones and having this in your pitch deck as the starting point, but also constantly showing your clients this is what we're working towards, client will sign up and they'll stay longer. Whenever I went to re-sign a client in any business model that I have, I always start with the end outcome of where we're taking a customer. Right now, I can share with you right now, one of our future-based promises is we are taking clients to 7 figures. That is our next journey for a lot of our clients. It's where a lot of our one-on-one clients are going to. If you're watching this training and you are almost on that track, cool, reach out to me. We can jam out and get you there. If you're below 25K per month, probably not yet, right? Let's get your first milestones, get you to 6 figures and get you there. So you can see how right then, you can see there's a future-based promise. You understand there's a journey. There's a pathway that you're going on. There is a longer journey for you. That's a good 2 to 3 year journey for some people, right? Very powerful when you understand that. So hopefully that was super valuable. I know that, this stuff is some cool stuff. If you can nail in this, understand the future-based promise, and you can really get into understanding the price point. Price point's fine, but the future-based promise, this is probably the missing piece, and then mapping out a bit of a rhythm throughout the year so you can have some wins along the way. I think those will be the key points. That's how you get people to re-sign. You've got to show your customer this. Draw it out in your whiteboard, map this out, what you want to help them achieve. I just use the Instagram one as the example. It could be for anything. It could be revenue, could be clients, could be whatever it is, right? So that's it for this little training. Hope you guys got value from it. And talk to you soon.